Go.
I'm recording.
We're going. I believe we're going.
Awesome.
It's really odd. As soon as you hit go, I heard rain start hitting. It's really quite odd. That was a little bit spooky.
Have you accidentally not pressed record and pressed play on your Jungle Rain Sounds playlist?
Or my God mode rain button. Just like, rain, go.
If you had one power as like a god, what would you like to have? Would you like to have the ability to just make it rain on command?
No, I would like to be able to flip gravity at my command.
I would have thought you'd just like to be taller, but...
That is the same thing.
Not really. It's not really the same thing. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wargamers Anonymous. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Even if you're listening in the morning, welcome. It's the evening where we are.
Yeah. When we are.
It's me, Josh from the Pickle Jar. Yes, I'm not dead.
Yeah.
It's Elston from Elstonation, my esteemed co-host.
I'm not dead either.
And online friend of many years at this point.
Yeah.
And today we've got a special guest.
Yeah. We've got a guest.
All the way from, you're not actually from Liverpool, are you? Are you from Wales?
Yeah, let's go with Wales.
Wales.
Yeah, from Wales. It is Peter Buxton of Transatlantic Games fame, otherwise known as the company behind Toothing Coach Range.
Aye. Hi, Pete. How you doing?
Hi. I'm from Transatlantis.
That's what. Yeah.
It's been a long day for Josh. So you'll have to excuse him today.
Sorry.
Yeah, we
Transatlantis Games. Sorry.
Thank you.
I tagged the right company at least.
Yeah,
you do.
Yeah, it's like in the writing it works. It's just the talking. It's just.
Yeah, I can't mouth words good. So today we're going to have a bit of a chat. We're going to, as Elston said, pick Pete's brains, not literally. And just the usual. If you've listened to the podcast before, you know exactly what to expect.
Yeah.
There might even be some talk about wargaming. Who knows?
Possibly. We've been starting off with health. Most podcasts. How has your health been, Josh?
Physical or mental?
Start with physical, lead into mental.
Well, I'll just start with physical and then I'll end with there because we've only got a set amount of time.
Okay.
Physical. I'm fine. The regime is still intact. Although I've been a bit bad this week. We had a takeaway last night. I stayed late at work for an open evening last night, which I had a hell of a lot of fun helping with.
Mm-hmm.
I was helping out in the drama department.
Oh, okay.
Because I am in charge of this year's musical.
Okay.
as though I've not got enough
jazz
else,
hands, everyone, jazz hands.
So I was helping out in the drama department last night, but then because I was late home, I couldn't be bothered to cook. Wendy couldn't be bothered to cook, so we had a Chinese.
You didn't have a kebab.
But no, I didn't have a kebab. No, that is a meal that I save for
us
only when you're here.
Pete, have you ever heard of the kebab?
No, we don't have that foreign food up here in Wales. So,
well, it's
to be fair, no one's going to have heard of a kebab. No, well, that's the thing that we made up. Yeah, it's not a real thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a kebab with some Chinese stuff on top.
Yeah, so it's like you could have a kebab with egg fried rice or like noodles or sweet and sour chicken. You just kind of like mix it up together. So it's like
I want to next time you're up here. I'm not going to do it when I come down to you because it'll cost too much, but it'll be cheap when you're up here because the north.
That's true.
I want a kebabza.
A kebab. Oh, a pizza with kebab.
A pizza with kebab and Chinese on it.
Oh God. Oh, we could do that.
Yeah, we can totally do that.
We can
that can be our next in-person podcast. We'll film it.
We'll do it when you come down. We'll do it. Like
it costs too much money. It'll cost like £1 million.
It'll be my treat, and it'll be fun. It's fine. We'll work out a pizza. Chababza.
It's a Chinese kebab. Right. And then pizza. So
Chababza. Right. Pete,
Chababza.
Do you have any weird food combinations that you've made up in the past, or are we unique?
Kofti.
Kofti. Ooh.
Yeah.
Not like a kofta kebab, a kofti.
No, kofti. So that is tea with coffee in it. Yep.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Wait, what?
You make a cup of coffee.
I'm familiar with this concept.
Pop
Continue.
the tea bag in.
Yeah. What, you make a cup of tea and then put a tea bag in?
No, make a cup of coffee.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then put a tea bag in.
Does it make any difference?
Coffee's a stronger.
Oh yeah, it doesn't make any difference at all.
Oh right, okay, brilliant.
It's just waste of a tea bag.
If you like what you're hearing, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave us a review, subscribe on whatever platform you happen to be listening on. You are not incorrect. This is a wargaming podcast.
Yes.
So let's get on to something vaguely on topic, and we'll start with the guest this week. Actually,
let's do that
because we've got a guest, Peter. Can you tell us, or would you like to tell us about what you've been working on recently in your hobby?
I've been painting some stuff.
Yeah, what have you been painting?
I have been painting. I'm trying to remember. I've been making some tiny tanks. So I've been working on my Germans for World War II.
Nice.
So nice little flames of war. And yesterday I was painting a ogre, which is very nice. Yes, somebody asked me what it was. I said, "Oh, it's one of the leaders. I think his name's Dave." So
his name's Dave.
Yeah, Dave the ogre.
From a particular system or just
Age of Sigmar? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the.
Is it one of the big troll ones?
No, it's the ogre warband leader thing with the spear.
Oh yeah. It came out a little while ago.
Yeah,
that's a cool model.
Yeah.
Nice.
I subscribe to Stormbringer, and I don't know why, other than the fact that every month I forget, and then this big pile of models turn up. And he was in one of those.
That's what happens to me.
And it's like, that's a figure that I need to paint because it's by itself, and I don't collect them, and it's for nothing else other than the fact that I get to try some new paints on it.
Nice. Were you testing your own particular new paint on it?
I might have been testing some new paints on it. Yeah.
Oh, cool. We'll circle back to that as much as we can. Obviously, there are secrets and stuff like that, but yeah, we'll talk more about that in a moment. Joshy boy, what have you been working on?
Yep.
Moving on. I have been
basically since the last. I think I mentioned vaguely on the last podcast that having gone back to work, I am now just sort of eating up all my time. I have done a little bit of hobby work. I got the Vampire Blood Bowl team built and primed, ready to paint.
Nice.
I just haven't actually started painting them yet because I've not had an evening where I've been able to start working on them early enough that I'm not just already tired.
Gotcha.
So yeah, but they're on the desk. I've left them out on the desk because I want to get them done. I'm filming that as well, so it will be a video that'll be coming out. Just because my first ever Blood Bowl team was the Vampire Blood Bowl team, the old metal one. So I'm quite excited to work on this new team because it looks cool and it gives me a cool excuse to paint red. So yeah,
nice.
That's what I'm sort of vaguely working on. I've got a few other bits that I want to do, but honestly, at the moment, it is just difficult finding time.
That's fair. It's one of those life moments, especially as well, because a new term thing for you, new school year essentially. So there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. So
it's a new school year. I've taken on teaching. I've taken on a form group, and that in itself, just the teacher of the form group, has added a lot of extra things that I have to do.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is getting done in my own time because, quite frankly, I don't have time to do it at work, so I have to do it after work. And then on top of that, I run a Dungeons and Dragons club, which I have started. It is absolutely amazing. I am running the musical this year, and then I get involved in loads of other stuff. So then outside of that, obviously we've had the discussion about the exercise and stuff that I've been doing, and so yeah, it's difficult. But I am getting on with stuff. It's just a very slower release schedule than it was before.
That's fair. Yeah, life's a thing. It's you're allowed to. I'll allow it on this occasion. So Cool.
What about you? What have you been on? What have you been up to?
So I don't know if I mentioned on the last podcast, I've been working on some Spider Fang goblins.
They're the ones you're doing with the two thin coats range, aren't they?
Yeah. The entire lot has been done with two thin coats. It's come out quite nicely so far. I haven't quite finished the army yet because I need to move on to the big guys. I haven't got round to actually doing them yet. In all brutal honesty, I love the paints, but I don't love those models. I'm not so.
I like some of the bigger, like showpiece ones.
Yeah,
I don't think the hoardy part of it is what I'd be interested in.
No, because like you paint each spider and a goblin, and effectively that's two models in one. So your production rate is a lot slower. And like the big spiders themselves, they've got the spider, the thing that sits on top, like Howder thing or whatever, and then you got loads of little goblins in that as well. And it's just like, and I've got like 4 of them. So I mean, it's on me for doing large things, but at the same time, I'm a bit like, I'll just take a break. I've done all the little guys and taking a break, so I'm moving back to doing 30k white scars for a little bit. Just get a bit of that done. Been painting some Lion Tower stuff, so I've done my Ifrit model.
Nice.
That's nice and finished. First time I tried photo stacking, and I was like, I kind of like this. So
I had to do a lot of that last year when I was working with Luke, like for like a lot of the last sort of the shots of stuff. Yeah, and ultimately came to the decision that I couldn't be arsed. And I just up the f-stop.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's. I mean, fair. You can do that. I mean, what
could do that on Luke's cameras where you can turn the ISO up to like 10,000 and it doesn't affect the quality.
Fair enough. The reason why I was doing it and why I was playing around with it is Dan from Lion Tower is doing a Kickstarter soon. He's doing very similar things. So I was actually practicing to see when I'm hopefully going to be getting some of the models that he's doing for the Kickstarter early so I can paint some of them up. And I was going to see if I can get some nice photos for him, for advertising and XYZ, a little bit of hype and stuff like that. Because Dan is one of my most favoritist sculptors ever. I love Lion Tower. So, that was big for, just doing a bit of
For those of you that maybe don't know what photo stacking is, it's basically taking multiple photos at different focus points. Focus depths, and then stacking them on top of each other, taking the bit that is in focus from each photo and then blending it all to one so that what you end up with essentially is the entire model in focus rather than like just the front or just the middle or just the back. It's for individual photos, it's easy to just like drop your f-stop a little bit and just get the entire model in focus. But when you're doing like big army shots, photo stacking can be really, really helpful because otherwise you have to sort of be quite far back, and then at that point, you depending on your camera, you can lose detail and stuff. So it is a handy technique to know.
Yeah. So I practiced a little bit of that. So and I probably will practice more. And
you guys know there's just a button in Photoshop that does it for you. No.
Interesting enough, I don't have Photoshop. I am one of the weird people that does video editing that does not use Adobe stuff at all. I use effectively something I paid 20 quid for, and I've been running with that for 10 years. So
whatever works, man. Whatever works.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, no, it's all been like it's one of those new experiences. Anyway, we've got Pete on for a reason because Pete works for Transatlantis Games, and I met Pete at Pickle Fest, which was a great event. And
yay.
There's the promotion from Josh for his own event.
It was a good event.
It was a very good event. Well done for putting it on.
Very good.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I was happy then. I wasn't back at work.
I was very happy that your pub sold pints for £1.99. That made me insanely happy. I was just like,
told you, man.
I haven't seen this in like 8 years.
That's how we do things up north.
Yeah. But yeah, Pete was there. He brought the 2 thin coats range for us to try out. And me and Judge and the other painters there got to try out. And we got talking. And Pete's a very interesting person. So that's why I wanted to bring him on the show. So we can talk about Transatlantis Games, Pete, life, all the kind of stuff, because I think it's worthwhile and I think he's a very interesting person. So I've bigged you up a lot now, Pete. Deliver the goods.
You have. I've just realised that I'm never going to follow that intro ever.
You can't possibly live up to the hype.
No, you could just say, yes, I am that interesting person.
I'll tell you what, Pete, as a bit of an introduction, apart from the little hype thing I just did, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and Transatlantic Games and how it all came about from your side of things?
Do you want the short story or the...
We've got like an hour, so as much as you want to abridge into that kind of time frame.
So, Transatlantic Games is a brainchild of a very good friend of mine called Bob Watts, which you may or may not have heard of. He's been in the industry, well, we won't mind you tell this, longer than I've been born.
Okay.
He's created Target Games, which did Warzone, if you remember that.
Oh, yeah, cool.
So, back in day. He created Sabretooth Games.
Yeah.
Which, being a Horace Hersey fan, hopefully you know what they did for the hobby.
Yep.
He's been CEO of North America Games Workshop. He's worked for Wizards of the Coast.
Right.
Quite happy there. And Privateer Press, which is where I met him, doing events for him in the UK, which is very good.
Cool.
So I did a lot of all the big events. Yeah. That's what they are. Tournaments.
Sure, yeah.
And little conventions and stuff. Yeah, those things.
Yeah.
Trying to think. Why can't I think of the name convention?
There's a word somewhere.
There's a word here. Con, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so we did all those for him. So we've been working together for quite a while on Privateer Press, and Bob decided he wanted to do something different. Okay. In the meantime, I'd contacted somebody about the Privateer Press range. His name was Duncan. So Duncan and I got talking.
Okay.
And that was nice. We got very well. He's just like the videos. And eventually we decided to do something new. So the first thing you do when you do something new, isn't it? You're like, I've got an idea. Let's do a paint range. What if we put someone's name on it? Whose name could we use? So
fair enough.
We wrote a little email to Duncan. Would you like to be for us to do a paint range for you? And they came back to us and said, "Oh yeah, we'd love to, but we have to be in charge." Well, they didn't quite say it like that. They said it nicely.
Yeah.
They said,
I can understand that. I guess if it's your name on it, you want to have some element of control. So
yes. Yeah. So we said yes, please. That would be wonderful. Be invested in your product. That's what we like. And thus the Two Thin Coats paint was born.
Wow.
So this was during the dark times where we weren't allowed out and everybody, you couldn't even leave Wales.
Yeah. So, yeah, I forgot Wales had it bad.
Yes. Very bad. It's like, I need to go here, please, sir. I have to stay within 5 miles of my house. Well, that's going to be making a paint range with somebody in Nottingham difficult, isn't it? So we worked on that remotely. I developed a paint range, and we weren't allowed to tell anybody. So you can imagine this as before then I was a professional full-time painter, pro painter, eBay level. So I was helping run a lot of commission studios and doing stuff like that during COVID. Yeah. So the thing came along, it's like, would you like to make your own paint range with Duncan Rhodes? It's like, I'll think about that for exactly like 2 seconds.
Sure, fair enough.
And it's like, yes, I think I need to take my career in this direction. So we proposed to Duncan. He said yes. And then we made this paint range over COVID, which is really difficult if you ever try and do anything like this.
Yeah.
Not in the same room. So it was like, what do you think about this colour? Holds it up to the camera. It's blue.
I mean, getting toilet paper was difficult in COVID times. So making a paint range is
kind of just as difficult. We weren't allowed to tell anybody because we wanted to keep it just, a little bit of a secret, because that's what this industry's like. We like our secret stuff.
Yeah.
Secret stuff. And then we told the world that we were doing something, and everybody had all sorts of guesses, and nobody guessed a paint range because, paint ranges are hard.
Yeah.
They're very hard as well. Disclaimer. Making a paint range is a very, very hard thing to do. And we launched a Kickstarter. We thought, this might work. You might make a few quid.
Mm-hmm.
And of course it did, and it funded just a little bit. Then we had the headache of not quite estimating exactly how many we were going to get.
Right.
So we ended up with over 500,000 bottles to create, which we didn't quite forecast. Because
fair.
Which is another thing we're very good in this industry for. So
yeah.
So we went from there and built a paint company because we had to.
Sure. Yeah. After that, you kind of like, well, we might as well, I guess. Yeah.
It's like, all right. So we need a factory. And then, of course, because it's something I've never done, obviously build a paint factory. It's not on my CV.
Yeah.
So we built a factory. So Josh has been to see it. It's absolutely lovely, isn't it, Josh?
It is. It's top of the range.
I'll have to take a visit at some point.
There's a video on it. There's a video on it. Dave came and pointed cameras at people.
He makes it. I don't want to belittle it, but Dave makes anything look magical. Regardless, he can make like a toilet look like a palace, and you're like, Dave. I personally, I'm curious. I want to see it in person just to see all the nitty gritty. Because I used to work in a pastime, Elston. I used to work in a cardboard box factory that used to do ink, and they had to like color coat the cardboard and stuff like that. So I'm kind of curious about the paint like mixing elements and stuff like that because I had to do a little bit.
Yeah,
like that
it's probably the same but with more mess.
Fair enough.
Yeah. In a previous life, I worked in the press, so I know exactly what you mean about ink.
Yeah.
But paint has a habit of getting absolutely everywhere. It's like there isn't anything I own that's not got paint on it.
Cool.
So you've seen the factory. So we built that from scratch, which was hard work, I think is the way to say that. But no, we're out the other end now. Everything's good. We're developing new paints. We're going forward. We're in shops. You can go and buy the thing that I helped make in a shop, which is still a buzz nowadays. It's just great. I did that. I did that. I've been involved in every single part of the manufacturing, from sourcing the bottles to helping Duncan make the paint to building the machines, running the team, selling the stuff, going to shows, talking to people.
Yep. Hence why
you meet me. So it's a very involving job.
Is it satisfying?
Keeps me awake. Very satisfying. Very, very
cool.
satisfying.
That's
very,
good.
I have to tell this, and I used to, when I was teaching, I used to say to the kids, it's like, oh, you could be anything you want to be. And like, oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? It's like, well, because at the time I was doing painting as well, part-time commission painting and stuff like that. And it's like, well, when I was a kid, when I was 11 or 12 at school, I was looking through White Dwarf and it was like, I want to do that. I want to paint bottles. I want to be involved. And here I am. Involved. A little bit too involved. Because, sleep is optional in this life. But it's very satisfying.
Cool. That's cool. And it's, after talking to you at Pickle Fest as well, obviously, the thing I was obviously very captivated by, it was just the fact that obviously there seems to be a myth and an ethos that happens around producers of wargaming products that they are somehow above the rest of us. So a lot of wargamers and stuff feel like they get the right to judge them. They're like, why didn't they know about all of this stuff, which I've only just thought about and not thought about beforehand? You're like, well, because they're actually real people. And obviously everyone can only do what they can do and think, well, what? Because obviously when building the factory, coming up with a paint range, there must have been things you not thought of at any one point in time. You go like, oh crap, we've got to do this now, or we've got to make this machine to do this, to do that, and X, Y, Z. So, and that's what really captivated me when we were talking at Pickle Fest, was just that the depth of knowledge of the stuff you know about as well. And it was like, you're a war gamer, but you've kind of advanced a little bit beyond the threshold of where I'm going. So hence why I was kind of like, I was, as I said, kind of captivated by it.
It's yeah, it's a wonderful industry. It's the best. I tell this to everybody who says, "What do you do?" I make paints, and they're like, "Oh, that's nice." And they sort of look at you. It's like, "Oh yeah, it's for toy soldiers." Have you heard of Warhammer? They're like, "Really? You make paint for that?" Like, is there a market for that? It's like, yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
The niche market that's growing.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. And I also say to people, you never run into anybody who's really angry at you because everyone's there to have fun and play with the toys. So it's like...
Clearly you've not been in the Facebook groups.
What's Facebook?
Yeah. The keyboard... The thing is, like, keyboard warriors, like, I think I've only bumped into one of them in real life. Like, the rest, like, the actual proper, the real, like, that guy, keyboard warrior, never actually really bumped into him in real life. Like, no one's
That's because they don't leave the basements.
I don't talk about science, still here with the process. Yeah.
I have to agree with Elston, though, on the sort of, like, that's always been my, like, there's a lot of the people, don't get me wrong, I've spoken to a lot of people that obviously have made the hobby in some shape or fashion, like their livelihood. And sometimes, I'll be honest, they come across as a bit of a bell end, just because they just act very entitled. But most of them that I've spoken to, Pete, you're one of these, it's just really refreshing. Like Elson said, that you are just someone that is interested in the hobby and you're just helping to sort of add something to it. So whether that's in like content that you make to help people, or whether it's a product that you're developing, because there's a space in the market for that. Like, it's just really cool that people are able to sort of take that interest and go, here's how I can help make it better, and here's how I can make other people's experiences better. And I really appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. It's good because we do actively kind of go out of our way to make us as accessible as possible. I know it doesn't feel like it sometimes in this hobby, but it's like we're all here to have fun, and if you can't do it, it's not fun. So we need to provide you a tool. We want to give you a paint that works and is fun to use, so you can do the thing that you want to do and have fun.
Now let's move on to the actual paints themselves, because you've latched onto something which I think people were crying out for a very long time, after a certain big model gaming company abandoned it for another kind of paint, which is equally as good and is equally probably more successful than the previous one. Obviously, there are many different paints in the range. There are washes, there are standard paints and stuff like that. But the one that's really captivated me, and I'm pretty sure you probably latched onto what I'm talking about, is the glazes, because a certain company dropped their glaze range, and you've got a glaze range, and I forgot how much I missed them and how good they are. And what I wanted to ask the question of is, with stuff like the glazes and everything like that, I'm trying to fish around for like ideas of the source of where it comes from. Is it like a certain elements of like nostalgia of like, do you remember this paint? It was really good. Like, they don't do it anymore. Can we bring that back and stuff like that? Is there a kind of like, we need to fill some gaps in the kind of design?
Definitely the nostalgia. So you look at how and when, I'd try not to talk too poorly about Duncan. He's a little bit younger than me. We grew up in the same period, basically. We were like, I was in Stoke, he was in Derby, so we were very, very close. And we're in the same era of Games Workshop. So we grew up with the same techniques. We grew up with the 90s kind of crazy red period and all of that. So when we learned how to paint and when we were trained how to paint, we trained in a certain way. And you can't forget what you know. So when you're doing these things, you want to bring in all those nice techniques and stuff you're doing and stuff you used to do and stuff you're good at and how you use a paint. It just so happens that there seems to be a lot of other people who want to use things like glazes and washes the way that we want them and paint the way we want them as well. So it's more of a case of we got to do what we want, so we did.
that's cool.
And we wanted glazes, so we made them.
I mean, I mean, if me and Josh got to make our own paint range, I dread to think what they'd actually be called. Like the actual names of the paints.
Probably something that could not be posted.
Yeah,
in a shop
probably like either like, well, we're just gonna have to. They'd all just be like, like how you say a swear word, but obviously with all the words kind of crossed out or hashtagged and all the like markers. That'd just be like bleep, 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 or just bleep would probably be a paint. Just bleep.
They'd be the only paint bottles that come with the like parental advisory sticker on them that you see on music albums.
Yeah, you have to open up a box, like say, warning, these are offensive on a level.
Yeah.
Just be prepared.
I can tell you that all the colours would be like neon bright, like burn your eyes out, like contrast. Like they would be. That is my style. I like painting bright colours.
I think I would also do big bowls as well, just because I go through an insane amount of paints as well. So, big bottles that are bright. Almost,
I have to say though,
B&Q level. Almost
B&Q.
Yeah, like
a 2-litre tub.
Like that. With a little tap.
I have to agree with Elston though, the glazes. The glazes and the bright set are absolutely superb in Wave 2.
Yeah.
And they are so much fun to make as well. Because it's like, think of a colour. It's like, all right, okay. And then you go and then you have to push that colour to a point where it's bright enough and it covers well enough and it's got the right opacity, it's got the right properties and everything like that. And every time you change something when you're making paint, you have to do something to stop what you've just changed from breaking it. So it's a bit like computer coding or building a network or project management or any of these wonderful things that you get to do in real life. Paint's just like that. It's like, oh, I'm going to add this to it. Oh, that destabilizes it, so I've got to put something to stabilize it. Oh, that makes it frothy. Okay, well, I'll put a defoamer in it. Oh, that's made it too wet. Okay, well, I'll take the wetness. Oh, that's made it too this. And you go down and there's about 80 or 90 ingredients later. You're like, yes, I have paint. And it does exactly what you want.
Do you have to write that down each time you add something, just so you know the formula to get to that level?
Yes. Yeah.
That's...
Is it like, and like when you do that, is it like you said, like it's a bit like coding and stuff? Do you then get to the point where you can go, well, if I actually just take all these bits out, you get to the same result, but without having to go around the houses. Like like when you can tidy up coding by going.
Chemistry doesn't quite work like that, but there's workarounds, and that's why you've seen.
You can tell that I'm not a chemist.
That's why you've seen paint technology get better, because technology's got better, and we've been able to use different chemicals and different things like that as we've been going along. So, which is I think a lot of people are seeing as well when you're comparing the paint of today to what we used to use back in the day. And everyone's like, oh, the paint's so much better today. It's like, yes, so are the cars and the technology. And I have something I could put in my pocket that is, does everything. I'm surprised it happens with paint as well.
Yeah, because my phone has more memory power in it than, like, I'm probably 20 times the PC I got when I first got a computer. It's like, it's miles and miles beyond. I mean, I picked up, right? People at home can't see this. I picked up a 30 terabyte hard drive that is no bigger than the palm of my hand, which is like mental on a level which I'm like, how has this become like 30 terabytes? Anyway,
the question I'm asking is, why do you need a 30 terabyte hard drive?
Because I'm a YouTuber and video files are fucking huge.
Yeah, but once you've done, just upload and then delete.
No, you keep for B-roll.
No,
keep for B-roll.
Archive everything.
Archive everything for
finish with that project. This project is done. It's uploaded. It is now dead to me. I do not care.
You spent too much time with Luke. You spent too.
No.
Anyway.
No. Yeah, go on.
Point aside, technology crazy these days. Mental.
yeah. So yeah, it's just like everything in life, it marches on, and we get to have cool paint because of it.
Nice. So here's something I want to point out to the viewers at home as well, because Pete, very kindly, I'm so happy you did this as well, because I got a little bit of bragging rights when you said I could pick my own paints, because obviously you're sending out sort of paint sets for people to try out and so forth, and you'd be like wave 1 or wave 2, and you really kindly said to me, it's just pick 60. And I was just like, I get to pick. So I've been having a play around with all of them, and I've been doing a really bright, colourful Spider-Fang army, which I mentioned earlier, to try and test out all of them as best I can. I think I've tried every single paint so far in there. There's one thing which, it's not a downside, it's just something for you to be aware. If you ever go into the shop and you look at it, the bottles are slightly frosted. So the color that you see from the outside isn't the color that's in there. So it's worthwhile having a look at the color chart just to see what the actual color is, because that threw me a little bit. I was like, oh, this is like, it looks like a pale red. You do sort of pour it out, you're like, oh no, that's really vibrant. So yeah, just be aware of that, people. They are far more vibrant than they seem in the frosted bottles. So and that's the only thing I could potentially say is, I don't know how much of a hassle it is to get clearer bottles going forward, but I don't know.
Right. So do you like the squeeziness of our bottles?
I do like the squeeziness of the bottles, and I'm assuming that's the reason why they're slightly frosted.
Do you like the fact that when you press them once, one drop comes out no matter which paint it is?
Yeah, that's nice.
You've got a pub with frosty bottles then.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, that's
why you should order yourself one of these beautiful paint racks from Sarissa.
Yeah,
Sarissa.
Well done, Josh.
Because they have the colours on the fronts.
Oh, very nice.
I have to say, I've only got the Wave 1-1 set up because Wave 1-1. That's
Wave 1-1.
Yeah, the 1-1.
Because my desk. I'm planning on upgrading my hobby space, but then because I've done like zero hobby, I've sort of gone, well, do I really need to spend money on that at the moment? But my plan is this space here, you guys at home can't see, I'm demonstrating. This space here is going to be another desk.
Yeah, yep.
So I've got my computer desk here. I'm going to have a desk there.
Yep.
And then I'm going to have my desk there, but I'm going to put some new worktops on top so that they're a bit deeper and I've got more space.
Sure.
And the plan is that the two thin curts are going to go there and there.
Yep.
The ranges, one on either side. So I don't know what I'm going to do when Wave 3 comes. Like, when more paints come, I don't know where I'm going to put those. Maybe I'll have to dangle them from the ceiling. But yeah, I've got too many paints now, and I've got too many paints that I use a lot.
Josh, no such thing as too many paints.
No.
You have no idea how many paints I've got. I went through, there was a phase like last year where it was like every other week, like a new set of paints would turn up from a company. And like some of them are like well-known ones, like yours, like stuff from Army Painter. And then some are just random sets of paint from like just companies. So like, yeah, I have more paint than I am ever going to need. And the ironic thing is that like at the moment 90% of what I'm using is just your range.
Yeah, it is quite odd how like when you test out a range, and Two Thin Coats is a prime example of how it sort of starts becoming a bit of a staple. And like because I've now tested out the paints, I know what kind of colors are in them with the frosted bottles as well. So I'm like, cool, I need a vibrant red, I need this one, or like sanguine red or something like that.
The thing for me is like there's a lot of paints that I like, but then like I really like the Proical range, but then I found that I had issues using those over the Colourforge sprays. There's something in them sort of reacts poorly to the Colourforge sprays, so they sort of it repels the paint, so it takes you a couple of coats to get down.
Especially if you're using white, like there's something like. I tried it with just varnishes and stuff. It really hates like some other chemicals going on. It'll just degrade.
So like I sort of, because I use so much of the Colourforge sprays, so it's that sort of put me off using those as much. Like I still use them if I do something with an airbrush. Like if I'm priming with an airbrush, then I can use them no problem. But then like, it's just like it's the convenience as well. Like I've not used as many sort of contrast speed painty things. So my army painter stuff is kind of just sat to one side at the moment. So it's mostly been the two thin coats range. And like, I know it sounds like an advert because like Pete's on the show and stuff, but it's like I cannot understand. This is one of the reasons why I like the Proco range so much, and it's the same for the two thin coats. The consistency across the entire range. Like I cannot oversell this. Like as someone that paints, when I do paint, I paint quite a lot, and I use different colours, and just being able to know exactly how much to like paint to water. Like is the mix for whatever I want, and knowing if I do that with one paint, it's the same for all of them. Yeah, like pretty much like exactly the same. Like because the consistency is just there. That is really, really helpful because my biggest issue with Citadel paints is that you have to know exactly how to mix each paint because they're all different because their consistency is not there.
It's a bit wild, isn't it?
Yeah, the consistency thing is something that Duncan and Roger as well, that's Duncan's business partner, really, really, really wanted to nail. Like every colour we had to make sure behaved like the next colour.
Yeah.
So every time you made a change with one colour, it actually affected like everything else until we got everything stable in our heads to a point where you can go, yes, I know how I want this colour to feel, so it's going to feel like this. Yeah. Or, my red's going to feel like my purple, and my purple's going to feel like my black, and my black's going to feel like that. Because that's... it was really important to us to do that because, like Josh says, we don't want somebody. It's another barrier to entry. It's less accessibility, isn't it? There's less that we can do to kind of get that sorted.
I mean, as much as, and Josh kind of touched on it here as well with contrast, and I've been trying to wean myself off of contrast paints and like start reverting back to using them as glazes if I need them, but because you've got essentially every single time you've got to dilute them down to a point. And it's odd just going back to the glazes, the two thin coat glazes. I've realized what a difference it is now of going, well, I don't have to dilute this contrast paint down by 10 to get to a glaze point. I can just take this glaze and use it as is, or if I want a fainter glaze, I can dilute it by a little bit. So it's giving me that much. Also, as well, contrast paint has like a chemical element of it where it will retract. Like if it goes on too thick or too thin at certain areas, it will retract and pull off, and it's like that gets frustrating. The pull markings, everything like that. And I'm kind of like, it's great. It's got its own place in the world, and I don't think that's ever going to go away. And I think GW have done a great job with it. But as the journey as a painter, I've kind of like, I've had my fun with contrast now, but now I want to try and get back to actually painting again.
Well, this is the thing. I think contrast paint, like you say, it serves a purpose, and I think it's a fantastic addition. And I know that a lot of people are like, it's just doing like zenithal and like dry brushing and shades or dry brushing and whatever. Like, it is, but like it's just making it easier for people that are either just getting into the hobby or just aren't interested in painting as much. Yeah. Like it serves a fantastic, and I still will use things like contrast paints. Like I've got pretty much the full range of contrast paints. I've got multiple sets of the full range of speed paints from Army Painter. I've got well, I'm not going to mention them actually because I don't like that company anymore. But then there's like whatever the Vallejo one was that Express? Yeah. I don't know. There's been multiple different copies of that style. Yep. And it is good. Like they are really good. Mainly, again, same as you, I'm mostly using them as either sort of glazers or tints if I thin them down a bit. But also, like, if I want something like a big glowy button or like a panel on a screen or like stuff like that, just because they're usually quite vibrant, especially some of the newer contrast paint range. But again, but then what happened? Pete went, we'll do some vibrant stuff. Yeah. And now I've got vibrant stuff here. So.
Yeah, exactly. Like the yellow Thank you for that. That is.
It's a good yellow, isn't it?
Oh, it's so good.
Oh yeah.
The purple. Love that.
So just go back to yellow because this is. Have you seen what it's called?
I thought it was just called yellow glaze.
Oh, the yellow glaze. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the yellow bright. It's okay. Right. My mistake. Yeah, our yellow bright's called Craven Yellow.
Oh, have I got that one? I'm not sure I've got that.
So I have.
What's that?
But yeah,
I do have that one.
Yeah, Craven Yellow, which is I think is a hilarious pun.
Nice.
And but yeah, the yellow glaze. Sorry, did you realise we were talking about yellow glaze? Yes, it's especially for your Imperial Fist players.
Yeah. They the Lamenter's glaze that went away a long time ago. I'm like, oh, it's back, and it's just as good as it because it's in a dropper bottle now, which is awesome.
I keep on meaning to post my bottle of late yellow glaze.
Oh, the Lamenters, yeah.
No, my 2 thin coats bottle of.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It's again, we're not on video, but it's about that big.
Yeah. if for the people at home that can't see that, there was a hand gesture, which is probably about the length of your arm. Well,
or as big as Elston.
Yeah, or as big as Elston. Yeah,
Even interestingly enough as well, I even saw Valrak claiming that he's like, oh, I've been working with 2 thin coats. So I was like, no, you haven't. Like, no, you haven't, Valrak.
Oh, he has.
Oh, has he?
He has. Yeah.
Valrak, you sneaky bugger. Oh, I'm gonna. Next time I see him, I'm like, Valrak, secrets. You keep on talking about secrets. Let me in on them. So, yeah, I know he was hyping that up on his stream last time I saw it. So,
a lot of it's to do with Valrak's fault actually, because he just kept on posting, "Where's my yellow glaze? Where's my yellow glaze?"
Yeah, even though he switched to doing contrast, I'm like, oh no, you've got to switch back to another recipe. So, anyway, yeah,
his Imperial fasts are really nice though.
Yeah, they are
very nice. Yeah. I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's really odd when you see really nice things. And I went to a game up in Warhammer World with him, and he's like, "Mate, what do you think I could do to improve my painting?" And I was just like, oh, "Why are you asking me?" And he's like, "Because you're a good painter." And I was like, oh, "You think I'm a good painter?" Anyway, yeah, it's a little bit of weird fanboying between YouTubers as well. So anyway, Glazers, love them. Please do more, please.
Mm-hmm.
Teal is a request of mine, like a teal turquoise color.
Teal turquoisey glaze.
Yeah. Okay. Josh, have you got a request for a glaze color?
I would like Luke Skywalker's lightsaber from the original trilogy before it was digitally remastered blue.
Shit.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, I tried using the blue glaze for when I did my Grievous.
Mm-hmm.
I used the green glaze for the green lightsaber. I was like, this is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And then I used the blue one for the blue lightsaber. I went, I hate it. It's too dark.
Yeah, it is too dark for lightsabers. Yeah.
But that's my fault. I just sort of went, glazes are really easy for lightsabers, but yeah, it's the wrong shade of blue.
It is the wrong shade.
So yeah, maybe like a sort of lighter blue, but I guess that it's closer to teal.
I was going to say, lightsabers are kind of, the blue ones are in the like almost neon blue spectrum sort of thing.
I can't remember which blue I ended up using. It was one of the newer ones, and it wasn't from the original range.
The electric boogaloo, isn't it? Ray Gun Glow. Oh,
I think it might have been Ray Gun Glow. Yeah. I think I did that and then just sort of thinned it down. I'll have a look now.
What did I use?
Or it might have been Leviathan Blue, actually.
That's a darker one. Oh,
I was going to say.
I should know this.
Yeah, Ray Gun Glow I was using on my spiders for the feathers.
No, I used Gigawatt Blue.
Gigawatt Blue. Electric Boogaloo.
A white. Yeah, the big bright one. So yeah, I would like. That's what you need to do. Is right. I know you're releasing all these.
Advice.
Here's what you need. Yeah, here's what you need to do. This $1 million idea. What you need to do is you need to have a word with Asmodee. Right.
And tell them to send me stuff.
And you need to And you need to say, you can have some of mine.
Yay!
And you need to say, what we can do is like, let's do some cross promotion here, right? And you need to do a set of glazes or brights or both, and that are specifically like lightsaber colours. So like a red,
I'll see what I can do for you, Josh.
Yeah.
a red and a green, a blue,
orange.
Don't bother doing a purple because there's only Mace Windu.
Orange is becoming more a thing.
Right, just as an aside, are you guys watching Ahsoka?
Yeah.
I'm saving it till the last one comes out. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Well, I can't talk about what we're going to talk about, so that's the end of that.
But the orange lightsabers are showing up a lot more. Like Savage from Clone Wars, he's got orange lightsaber.
I think it's just a different coloured red. Is it orange?
It's orange.
It is orange.
It is orange.
Yeah.
See, orange is becoming common. Orange is the new teal.
I had this conversation with someone the other day. I remember playing Jedi Power Battles, and there was a character in that had an orange lightsaber, and I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, I think that was on the last podcast we were talking about, but I don't know that. But isn't there yellow? Yellow's one of their lightsabers now, which is coming.
Rey's got a yellow lightsaber, hasn't she?
I would say
they're just making up any old colours now. It's unrealistic now. That's what it is.
Lightsabers. They're just unrealistic lightsabers now.
Yeah, it's just unrealistic. As soon as they started changing it, unrealistic now. Yeah, there is. There's one I can see him here on character select. I'll find out. Carry on talking. I'll find out his name.
What about the guy from the new ones, whatever his name is. I think he got yellow ones. He got yellow ones?
Who?
Whatever his name, ginger hair boy.
Cal Castis.
Yeah.
I've never played the colour you want.
He can have whatever colour you want.
Yeah.
I've never played the game, so I thought I saw yellow once, so I thought Plo Koon had yellow at one point, but that might have been someone else. Anyway. So yeah, Josh's idea is team up with Asmodee, lightsaber colors for when they
and you could release it as a set. You could release it as a set of like, I don't know, 6. If you have green, blue, red, yellow, orange. That's just all the colours you already do, but then just do a lighter blue. Basically, just do a lighter blue, and then just do it as a package and then just release that as like lightsaber set.
So they don't really even need to team up with Asmodee. They could just do a lightsaber set.
Yeah, but because Asmodee does the Star Wars Shatterpoint, so.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could. Wouldn't you need to talk to about Star Wars IP?
I said talk to him. I said talk to Asmodee. Just get on it. Right. It's easy, right? Okay. All you do is you phone him up and you say, "Hello, Asmodee," and they go, "Yeah, hello, who's this?" And you go, "It's me from what? So what's the?
Duncan's what they call.
Yeah,
it's transatlantic, isn't it? Yeah,
Atlantis.
You go, it's me from Transatlantis Games.
There you go.
It's me from Transatlantis Games. It's me, Pete, Big P, coming at you.
P.
And they'll go, "Hey, Big P, what can we do for you?" And you'll go, "Look at this, is banging idea. I've got some glazers for lightsabers. Are you in?" And they'll go, "Yes." And then they slap top of a car and go, "Quid's in." That's it.
Oh yeah, obviously that's.
And then that's how business works. Listen,
with multi-billion-pound franchise. IPs.
Listen, this is how it works for Luke, and
yeah, that's obviously that worked out fantastic.
I think there's something there. I think doing like themed, like, listen, other companies do it. They go, here's a orc flesh set. Here's 6 paints to paint orc flesh. And you look at it and go, yeah, I can paint orc flesh now. I'll buy that set. You can go, here's how to paint lightsabers, easy. No, tell you what you do, right? You chuck a white in there as well, like a matte white, so then you can put that down, and then, like you get like a glazed medium, or you get like a metallic medium or something in other sets. But there you go, you have a white as your base coat, and then the glazes.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't actually disputing it was a bad idea. I actually think it's a brilliant idea. It's just the tagging on the Star Wars element is slightly IP infringing, so you kind of...
Well, that's why you have to have a word, Elston.
Yeah, but I don't think Asmodee has the rights to dish out the Star Wars IP. I think they've got rights to their own...
because they're releasing a game with Ninja so I hope they've got the right.
They could do it with that, but they can't grant other companies the right to do that as well.
Well, that's why you've got to fight for your right to release the Star Wars lightsaber set. Yeah, to
fight
IP.
for your right to IP.
To IP, yeah.
I think it's a banging idea. All right, don't call it lightsabers, then call it glow sword set.
Yeah, there you go. Glow sword set, and then you won't get in trouble.
Call it space fights.
Yeah, laser swords.
No, look, catching them laser swords.
Laser swords.
But yeah, you should do something like that. I think that's a banging idea. Have you thought about doing because obviously you've got like your big sets and then they're all individuals. Have you thought of doing them as like some smaller bespoke sets for like specific things?
Yeah, boring business stuff. They're in the works.
Cool.
Like everything.
So
It's just
like a flesh.
Already on it, Alston. It's already on it.
It's just yes, the wheels have to turn, and they are big
laser
wheels.
swords coming.
Yes.
He needs to phone people and just make it happen. So he's already on it, Alston. He thinks it's a good idea. I can't believe you would say it were a bad idea.
What?
Elston.
Also, as well, I know this is a bit odd, but I know the kind of wash. Definitely. I know the washers kind of do it, but a brown glaze, like almost leather style glaze.
Yeah, this is killing me. Sat here being quiet.
Yay! Right, cool. Josh, guess the color game that's coming out next. Go.
Well, I don't. Like, all the colours are already
blue?
out, so it's just yeah. Is it Luke Skywalker's lightsaber from the original trilogy before it was digitally remastered?
No, we didn't. No, we didn't think about that. But I want to try and make it now. So that's my evening.
I mean, to be fair, any of the light blue lightsabers would be fine. I'd accept Anakin's lightsaber from the prequels. That'd be fine.
Pink glaze.
Oh, actually, yes. That is what I want. I want like a super a magenta
pink?
that went like super magenta.
All right,
like I want to look at it and burn my retinas out.
Like hot pink.
Yeah, like the hot pink that I've got like a couple of copies of one because like I had an extra one. Thank you, by the way, for the replacement. But yeah, that pink is fantastic. And I've used it. I used it on my Magna Guard on their the glowy energy bits.
Yeah, very nice.
I used it on that, and I airbrushed on which one is it? Neo pink a little bit, neo pink and hot pink, and then there was a magenta. I think that might be from the original.
Yeah, Sword Hill,
like a purpley. Yeah, it's like a purpley pinky.
Sword Hill or Glistening Gums.
I think it might be, with glistening gums. Yeah, with glistening gums, which I used as like the base, and then I used the two brighter ones from the Wave 2.
Yeah.
But like I did a bit of airbrushing and did a bit of OSL with them. That came out really nice. But yeah, I want like a really bright magenta. Like my favorite.
I'll see what I can do, Josh.
Yeah. My favorite magenta paint is the Chimera one. That is gorgeous. And then there's one. Is it Doomfire or Doomfang Magenta or Doomfire Magenta or something? Contrast paint from GW. It's all right, but like it has that contrast paint look. Like it looks, like it looks. I can't describe it, but it doesn't look nice.
Gloopy.
Like it does. Like the color's nice, but like it doesn't go like I want it.
Yeah. Turquoise glaze. I know that's teal.
You've already said that.
No. Teal is like on the light end.
Turquoise. I'm with Paul. Yeah, it's teal's.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But like, if you've asked for a teal glaze, and
you can't have teal and a turquoise one.
That's like saying, "Oh, can I have a cup of tea?" And then a bit later saying, "I've not had a drink." You've had a cup of tea. But I've not had a cup of tea with sugar in it.
Like a dark turquoise or like a deeper turquoise is so nice. But a teal is obviously also a very nice thing as well. And I'm just naming every single color I can think of for glaze.
Yeah. Let's see what original color else is going to come up with for his third option. It's going to be like, oh, can I have an emerald glaze, please? It's just another shade darker. Rawr.
All right.
That was my impression, or else.
Wonderful.
What can you tell us? Can you tell us anything about
any upcoming stuff?
I bet you can't tell us anything, can you? Really? Because it's all secrets.
The problem is there's not a lot of secrets. I could say, oh, we got this colour coming, and then tomorrow it'd be like, oh no, we haven't got that colour anymore. We've changed it, or we moved it, or it's gone into a different wave, or it's looking at a new product. And I know that's a really big cop out, but
that's fair.
Can you tell us the vague plan for the future?
More paint.
Cool.
Nice.
That's about as far as we got. It's about as far as we've got. We're doing, again, boring business stuff. We're developing our American market a lot at the moment because we're quite big in America. So we're trying to get that to a nice even keel, as well as developing new products and keeping on top of the factory stuff and building up content creation. There you go. We're going to be getting more into content creations. We're going to be doing podcasts. So,
nice. We've been talking about this as well. Hopefully,
we have. Paul's been giving me some good advice.
Yeah,
Mr.
hopefully this is.
What does Elston know? Like he just turns up. I edit everything.
I'm the one that's not busy as shit at the moment, so I'm the one that can respond to emails. Thank you.
Yeah, but I'm the one that edits everything, even when I am.
I've not got to editing yet. Yeah, I'll be picking your brains once we get to editing.
Yeah.
What does Elsa know anything about recording a podcast? He just turns up and we're talking bollocks for an hour. We don't even know how to start or end a podcast yet.
That is true.
So
that is very true. So that's cool. Yeah, let us know when you do that. We'll let people know because I'm kind of intrigued to see what comes out. I did actually have a thought of something which is kind of paint adjacent. Have you had a thought about stuff like varnishes at all for the range or anything like that?
Do you like matte?
Yes, I like matte. Yeah,
you'd like something I'm playing with at the moment.
Cool. Cool. I'm glad I can only see chest up.
Pete's playing with Matt.
Cool. So eventually the whole idea is to have a nice range of hobby products.
Cool.
But that plan did not survive content with the enemy.
Fair enough.
And our small, nice little, we'll just do a starter for 10 turned into a big business quite fast. So yeah, we're trying to pace ourselves and get decent products out that work rather than.
Because how long has it been, like the paints element side of it? How long has that been going now?
Well, we were developing it during COVID, so it was definitely then. So it was end of 2020.
So nearly 3
beginning of 21, nearly 3 years.
Nearly 3 years. That's not bad for like 3 years to get to the stage where you're at, where you got 120 paints now. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Which is
just Pete trying to remember which ones are out.
Yeah. It's getting quite bad now. Before it was dead easy. It's like, I know which 60 are out and I know what 60 are coming next. Now it's like, I know what 60 may be out. What's a Kickstarter range? What's in development?
The turnaround's been good though, because I can remember getting the Wave 1 set last year while I was working with Luke, and it was towards the end of last year, or like ish, because I can remember that the video that I filmed using the set of paints was supposed to go on the Geek Gaming Scenics channel, and then didn't, because that's when I left. So, and then like the turnaround between that and then the Wave 2 set coming out has been like really, really fast.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to big up the factory crew for that. Just the amount of sheer wonderfulness that they do every day.
Yeah,
getting covered in paint. And
big ups to the two Thin Coats factory guys.
Yeah, of just getting their shit together as quickly as they did. So it's all credit to those guys, really.
Nice, well done, factory crew. We don't know your names, but we'll give you applause.
Well, there's only 6 of them, so
okay. Well done, 6 of you. Cool, awesome, nice.
So, and some other guys who come and help as well. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Cool. Yeah, well, we should probably start looking at. Go on.
I was just going to say it's their hard work and Duncan's ideas and our perseverance.
It's nice to give credit to where it's due as well for like. 'Cause a lot of times when there's people that present and stuff or come to the forefront, a lot of times they get the credit when there's a whole crew behind them that are doing a lot of the work. So well done, Two Thin Coats crew, Transatlantis Games crew, the crew. I'm just gonna you are now the crew.
What the racing game?
Okay, yeah, fine. Let's go with that. The crew. Yeah.
Family.
There we go.
The gang slang.
We should probably look at wrapping this up because I know that Pete's got some very important work to do.
He's got to do business stuff, So
I got to do business stuff.
Business, Pete.
Business.
So there we go. If you have enjoyed listening to us, obviously leave us a like and a review and subscribe and all that stuff. Make sure if you've not tried out the Two Thin Coats range, go and give it a go. Go and pick up a couple of bottles. Next project you're going to start, just nip into your shop or go online and pick up a couple of bottles and use them on that. I guarantee, honestly, I don't say this lightly, but it has become my sort of go-to set of paints. Because it's to the point where I'm trying to rearrange my hobby area so that I can have all 120 of them out.
Yeah.
So that I've got access to them. Because the thing that I hate most about having so many paints is that a lot of them aren't out because I haven't got space. Yeah. And then I'm like, I really want to use them paints, but then I've got to get up. I've got to go over there, get them out of a cupboard or whatever. Or I just end up with boxes everywhere. So, yes, they are absolutely fantastic paints. Go and try them.
Also, as well, if you would like to come try them for free, Pete's coming along to ChillCon and he's going to be bringing the paints. So we're going to have a little hobby area, much like I'm basically stealing Josh's idea for ChillCon. And we're going to have...
Calm down, Kev.
Yeah, I know. Easy. But yeah. So yeah, effectively, I fully acknowledge this. Josh came up with this idea and I'm going to expand on it and see what I can do with it. And then hopefully Josh can take ideas from ChillCon and then expand on it again. And I think that's the healthy relationship we got going on with our ideas at the moment. Josh comes up with something, then I take it and do something. And then Josh can take that and then come on from there. Anyway, Pete is going to be graciously joining us at ChillCon, bringing the paints. There'll be a hobby area where you can test them out, try them, for stuff like that. So yeah, that'll be in March 2024 in Derby. So I know, yeah, I know you'll have to do a drive if you want to come, but if not,
I'll see.
If not,
it's quicker to get to than Nottingham, Derby.
Yes. Yeah, for me as
well.
Not
from me, it's not.
Yeah. The only person
it's not quicker to get to than the Sheffield ChillCon.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that for now. But yeah, on that note, I was going to say. But now it sounds like I'm booing ChillCon and then promoting Picklefest. But I did want to say thank you for coming to Picklefest because it's the first time I've spoken to you properly since then. So thank you for coming in and supporting us. It was only a small event. It'll be a small event next year when it happens again. But yeah, it was really, really cool of you to come along and bring the paints and stuff. And everyone really enjoyed the hobby part of that. So yeah, it's going to be more of a thing next year.
Yeah, indeed.
I'll see what else does at ChillCon, and then I'll just
steal.
That's what we do.
And I'll probably be at Picklefest as well, so I'll help steal it. And yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap this up so that Pete can go off and
do business stuff.
Just make business deals for the Lightsaber special edition set.
Yeah.
So, Pete, give us a shout all the places where they can follow either yourself or the company or whatever.
You're afraid of saying the name, aren't you?
No, it's Transatlantis.
Yay!
Because it's the one that doesn't make sense. Transatlantic
does make sense.
Is does make sense because it's the thing, but so it's Transatlantis.
Yes. Tis.
Yeah.
Fantasy.
Anyway,
company.
Yeah. Go and tell us all the things.
You can find us at Transatlantis Games on Facebook and Instagram. Not the other one. Mm-hmm. You can also find us at transatlantisgames.com. Yep. I don't like the other one. And that's about it. And we've got a very small social media following, but I promise I'm going to be posting more, and I reply to all those Instagram comments that people tag us into, and I see it on my phone and I go, how does this work? And I have to go and ask K-Legs how Instagram works, and she tells me how it's easy, and I don't like it. And yeah, we got the website, and you can follow me if you really want to at Peter John Buxton on Instagram.
Cool.
So
cool. Awesome sauce.
But,
Elster, where can we find you?
I'm on the internet under Elster Nation, Facebook, Elster Nation Minis, Elster Nation on Instagram. Yeah, I'm posting a lot more on Instagram these days. I will be coming back to YouTube soon. As soon as I got through some live stuff. I'm not going to talk about that on this one, but yeah, once I got through that, there'll be videos coming back plenty. So,
Nice.
And how about yourself, old Pickle Capitan?
You can usually find me crying in a corner. No, I'm joking. You find me on YouTube, The Pickle Jar. Again, same as Elsa just said, I promise there are some videos coming. Like, I've got like stuff in the works. It's just, it has been a very dramatic change this last year, basically, for my hobby content for my hobby output, to be honest, but my hobby content output as well. But there is stuff coming. Like I say, I'm in the process of filming this Vampire Blood Bowl team. I've got a couple of other things that I want to work on from various companies that have been sent. Everything's sort of stacking up. Like, I've just got a pile of boxes in my dining room that I'm like, no, because every time I put stuff away, it goes in the spare room and then it never gets worked on because it's out of sight, out of mind. But I'm leaving all this stuff here, so I'll work on some of it at least.
You are never going to have like finish your pile of shame ever. Oh,
I know.
Yeah.
No chance.
It's self-perpetuating.
So I'm
like
trying
a
to
song.
Yeah, I'm trying to like basically get our video finished before I drown in plastic.
Okay.
So that I can put some of it away then at least. But yeah, there will be videos coming in, so you can find me on the Pickle Jar. You can also find me on all the socials. If you just search for the Pickle Jar, I'll pop up on all of them. But best place to find me is over on my Discord. Tag me if you want me to, like, if you want me specifically. Because again, I've not been as active on that as I used to be, just because work is busy. And that's about it.
Yeah.
So there we go. Massive thank you to Pete for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, Pete.
No problem.
Nice and chill. Hope we've not sort of bothered you too much about asking
about
asking
lightsabers.
stuff. But
Yeah, lightsaber.
That weren't a bother. That were an absolutely banging idea, mate. That's for free. That I'm not even going to charge you. So there you go. You can have that one for now. But yeah, thank you for coming on. It's been a joy to see you and speak to you again. It always is, and hopefully it'll not be too long before we speak again.
Yeah, indeed. Cool.
So there you go, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah.
And now we've got to end it somehow.
Yeah, I'm going to let you end it this time, Josh.
Me?
Yeah.
What makes you think I know what I'm doing? I think we should let Pete end it. He's the guest, like guest of honor.
How do you want to end it, Pete?
Ta-ra.
Okay.
But short and simple. Why didn't we think of that?
Why don't we just say goodbye?
I mean, he didn't say goodbye. He said ta-ra. But...
Okay. Ta-ra.
Should we try and do it synchronized all together?
All right. Like a 3, 2, 1, ta-ra thing.
Right, one person count in, because if we all try and count in,
right. You count then.
Okay, ready? So I'll count down 3, 2, 1, and then we'll say ta-ra.
Yeah.
What would be 0 then?
Cool. Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Ta-ra.